In 1863, a story of extraordinary ambition and determination began with a young boy, just 19 years old, who dared to dream the impossible. Imagine a world dominated by horse-drawn carriages, where the idea of a horseless carriage sounded like a fantasy. This was the world that was about to be turned on its head. This young man, brimming with ideas, envisioned a future where carriages glided along without the need for horses. People around him couldn't help but laugh at such a wild concept. But little did they know, his vision was not just a fleeting daydream. It was a blueprint for a future he was determined to create. For 7 years, he toiled in engineering and construction, not just working but learning, absorbing every bit of knowledge that could bring him closer to his dream. It wasn't just a job for him. It was a quest to gather the tools needed to build the impossible. Then, after trying few more years at last in 1879, at the age of 35, the impossible became possible. He created a gasoline two-stroke engine, the heart of what would become the world's first motorized carriage. This poor boy was none other than Carl Benz, a name that would become synonymous with luxury, innovation, and automotive excellence. From being laughed at to creating one of the world's most prestigious and valuable car companies, Mercedes-Benz, Carl Benz's journey is a testament to the power of dreams and determination. Mercedes-Benz, now valued at an astonishing $80 billion, stands as a monument to Carl Benz's vision. Each car that rolls off the production line is not just a machine. It's a piece of history, a legacy of a man who dared to challenge the status quo and transform the world of transportation. This is the story of Carl Benz, a poor boy who created one of the oldest and most luxurious car companies in the world, Mercedes-Benz. He proved everyone wrong and turned his small venture into the world's first and biggest production car company. Now, this story started in November 1844, when in the quaint German town of Mühlberg, Carl Benz was born. His entry into the world wasn't marked by the trappings of wealth or privilege. Instead, he was born into a low-class household, where every day was a struggle for survival. His father, a locomotive driver, worked tirelessly, but their life was a constant battle against financial hardship. Tragedy struck early in Carl's life. At just 2 years old, he faced a devastating loss as his father passed away, leaving him and his mother in dire financial straits. The young Benz's childhood was far from easy, marred by poverty and nights spent going to bed with an empty stomach. Yet, amidst these hardships, there shone a beacon of hope and determination. His mother, her resolve to provide her son with a good education, was unshakable. She understood that education was the key to a future brighter than the grim present they were enduring. Thanks to his mother's sacrifices, Carl was able to attend school, where he quickly began to show signs of brilliance, especially in subjects like chemistry and mechanics. It was clear from a young age that Carl possessed a mind attuned to the intricacies of the scientific world, a mind that was destined to break the mold and chart new paths. By the age of 15, Carl had made a decision that would set the course for his future. Inspired by his late father, he aimed to delve deeper into the world of mechanical engineering. With determination and hard work, he passed the entrance exam for the University of Karlsruhe, a stepping stone that would lead him to cross paths with a figure instrumental in his journey, Ferdinand Rettenbacher. Ferdinand Rettenbacher was not just any teacher. He was a visionary in the field of mechanical engineering. In Germany, he was regarded as the pivotal figure who transformed mechanical engineering from a workshop-based profession to a technical science. Under Rettenbacher's tutelage, Carl found not just education but inspiration. He was exposed to cutting-edge ideas and theories, which played a crucial role in shaping his understanding of mechanical engineering. As Carl Benz sat in the classrooms under the tutelage of Professor Ferdinand Rettenbacher, his mind often wandered beyond the theoretical concepts of mechanical engineering. His interest in horseless carriages wasn't just a fleeting curiosity. It was a burning passion that grew stronger each day. Inspired by his regular bicycle rides, Carl began to see his humble bike not just as a means of transport, but as a canvas for experimentation and innovation. In those days, the quest to create the first automobile was like a race, with many engineers and inventors joining the fray. While a few had managed to build self-propelled vehicles, these early inventions were far from practical. Carl observed that most of these prototypes relied on steam engine technology, a method that was quickly proving to be limited and cumbersome for the purpose of personal transportation. Professor Rettenbacher's teachings played a crucial role in shaping Carl's perspective. Under his guidance, Carl realized that the future of transportation needed a radical new approach, something fundamentally different from the steam-powered behemoths of the time. While many around him laughed at his vision, Carl's belief in it never wavered. He knew he was on to something groundbreaking. He just needed more time to prove it. After graduating from the University of Karlsruhe at the age of 19, Carl embarked on a journey filled with professional trials. He spent the next 7 years working in various engineering and construction jobs. Although he struggled to find his place in these roles, every experience, every job was a learning opportunity. He was gathering the pieces of a puzzle, each job teaching him something new, something vital for his ultimate goal. Carl's fascination with bicycles was more than just a hobby. It was the starting point of his revolutionary idea. He began tinkering with his bike, experimenting with different mechanisms and concepts. It was a laboratory on wheels, where Carl tested his theories and ideas about motorized transport. The road to innovation is often lonely and fraught with skepticism. Carl's ideas, which we now recognize as the seeds of a transportation revolution, were then viewed with doubt and even ridicule. The notion of a motorized vehicle, so common to us today, was a radical and almost heretical idea at the time. But Carl wasn't deterred by the skepticism or the challenges. He was a man driven by a vision, and he understood that great achievements often require patience, perseverance, and a willingness to venture into the unknown. In 1871, at the age of 27, Carl Benz embarked on a significant venture that would mark a turning point in his journey. He partnered with a mechanic named August Ritter, and together, they set up an iron foundry and mechanical workshop in Mannheim. This was a pivotal move for Carl, as he was simultaneously working on a groundbreaking side project, developing a motorized carriage. The partnership with Ritter was crucial, as running a business while innovating required collaboration and support. However, Carl's journey was far from smooth. His partnership with Ritter hit rocky waters when it became apparent that Ritter was unreliable. The duo faced a significant setback when their tools were impounded by local authorities, causing their company to struggle immensely in its first year. It was a time of testing and trials, a period that would challenge Carl's resilience and determination. Amidst these challenges, Carl's life took a fortunate turn when he met Bertha Ringer. Bertha, who would later become his wife, was born into a wealthy family and was a woman of strong values and deep conviction. She saw the potential in Carl's efforts and was disheartened to witness them being hindered by his unreliable business partner. In an act of remarkable support and belief in Carl's vision, Bertha used her own dowry to buy out Ritter's share of the company. This bold move placed her and Carl in full control of the business, a partnership that would prove to be pivotal in the years to come. Together, Carl and Bertha managed to steer their business through turbulent waters. The next decade was a period of relentless struggle, but it was also a time when Carl's true genius began to shine. He made major advancements in his side experiments, most notably developing a gasoline two-stroke engine in 1879. This invention was a significant step towards realizing his dream of a horseless carriage. Carl's innovative spirit didn't stop there. To generate more revenue, he began to patent his inventions, including an engine speed regulation system, ignition via a battery system, spark plug, carburetor, clutch, gear shift, and a water radiator. These designs were not only instrumental in bringing him closer to his dream of a motorized vehicle, but they also enabled him to diversify the products offered by his business. These designs were not only instrumental in bringing him closer to his dream of a motorized vehicle, but they also enabled him to diversify the products offered by his business. Despite these achievements, the road ahead was fraught with financial challenges. The production costs associated with Carl's ventures had escalated significantly, drawing the attention and concern of banks. They demanded that the business be incorporated, a move that would require Carl to associate with other investors. In 1882, amidst financial pressures, Carl's business transformed into a joint stock company. This step was a mix of compromise and necessity, a decision that would shape the future of his company. So, after being left with only 5% of his company's shares and stripped of his decision-making powers, Carl faced a critical juncture. His ideas, once the cornerstone of the company, were now disregarded, leaving him voiceless in the enterprise he had built from the ground up. This blow to his pride and passion led him to make a decisive move. Carl packed up his belongings and left the corporation that he had once helmed. Leaving his company was a hard blow for Carl, but it did not diminish his resolve. Instead, the disappointment fueled his determination to succeed. His long-standing passion for bicycles led him to Max Rose and Friedrich Wilhelm, who owned a bicycle repair shop in Mannheim. Together, they established Benz and Company, focusing on manufacturing industrial machines and stationary gas engines. Unlike his previous venture, this new enterprise started off well and quickly turned profitable, with a steady income and a growing staff of 25 people. With financial stability and a dedicated team, Carl could finally concentrate on his lifelong dream, building an automobile powered by his gas engine. Instead of simply adding a motor to a carriage, Carl innovatively built the carriage around the motor, employing technology similar to that used in bicycles. His creation, the 1885 Benz patent Motorwagen, was a marvel. This two-seater vehicle, resembling a tricycle with its 3 wire wheels, was powered by a gasoline 4-stroke motor. Its single-cylinder engine, producing 2/3 of a horsepower, allowed it to reach speeds of around 7 miles per hour. Carl knew he had achieved something revolutionary. After rigorous testing and refining, he introduced his wonder car to the public in the summer of 1886. The reception, however, was mixed. While some admired his creation, many were skeptical, fearing the machine's potential to explode or even believing that Benz was a devilish figure driving an infernal carriage. Carl's business partners were also less than enthusiastic. They saw his obsession with the automobile as a distraction from their core business and failed to see the practicality of his invention. In their view, the Motorwagen was no more efficient than a horse, prone to breakdowns and limited by fuel availability. Despite these challenges, Carl Benz remained steadfast in his belief that the horseless carriage was the future. In 1888, he began manufacturing cars for sale, becoming the first person in the world to do so. Now, Carl's biggest supporter in this endeavor was his wife, Bertha. She often accompanied him in the workshop, offering suggestions and encouragement. Despite improvements and refinements, the general public still struggled to grasp Carl's vision. The few who purchased his cars found them useful only for short distances and often required mechanics' assistance. Additionally, the high cost of the vehicles limited their accessibility to the wealthy elite, many of whom were put off by the car's loud and messy nature. Carl Benz stood at a crossroads. He had achieved a technological breakthrough, yet he faced the monumental task of convincing the world of the automobile's viability and potential. His journey was not just about inventing a vehicle. It was about changing perceptions and overcoming societal skepticism. Carl needed to demonstrate that the automobile was more than a novelty. It was a transformative innovation that was here to stay. One summer morning in 1888, Bertha Benz embarked on a journey that would etch her name into the annals of automotive history. With her husband Carl still asleep, she quietly hopped into his motorcar, taking along her 2 sons for a daring adventure. Their destination was Forchheim, 66 miles away from Mannheim. This journey was extraordinary because at that time, no motorized carriage had ever completed such a long journey. The roads, dusty and stony, were designed for horses, not automobiles. But Bertha was resolute, determined to showcase the significance of her husband's invention. Her trip was far from smooth. She faced numerous challenges, from refueling at a pharmacy to performing mechanical repairs on the vehicle. The 66-mile journey took over 12 hours, but Bertha and her sons eventually arrived safely in Forchheim. Bertha's journey demonstrated the practicality and potential of the automobile, catching the public's attention and proving that the motorized carriage was more than a mere novelty. This event brought significant publicity to Carl Benz's invention, turning the Benz patent motor wagon into a topic of widespread conversation. The success of this historic journey spurred rapid expansion for Benz and Company. By 1890, the company had grown to become the second largest engine manufacturer in Germany. Interestingly, this success was not primarily due to their automobiles, but rather their stationary gasoline engines. However, with the addition of two new business partners, Friedrich von Fischer and Julius Ganz, the company's focus began to shift. Fischer and Ganz took over the business and marketing aspects, allowing Carl to concentrate more on his engineering pursuits. This shift led to several new patents and innovations, including the planetary gear transmission, the double pivot steering, and the flat engine with the boxer configuration. Carl's engineering prowess continued to shine, leading to the creation of a new, improved automobile, the Benz Victoria, launched in 1893. The Benz Victoria was a luxurious two-passenger vehicle equipped with a 3-horsepower engine, capable of reaching speeds up to 11 miles per hour. Its reliability made it fairly popular, but it was the Benz Velo, a more affordable follow-up design, that truly revolutionized the automobile industry. With around 1,200 units produced, the Benz Velo became the world's first large-scale production car, propelling Benz and Company to become the largest automobile company in the world during the 1890s and early 1900s. However, the success of Benz and Company did not go uncontested. Not far away, another company was making waves in the automotive industry, Daimler Motoren Gesellschaft in Cannstatt. This emerging competition added pressure to Carl's company, setting the stage for an intense rivalry that would shape the future of the automotive world. Daimler, known for his competitive nature and business acumen, was a force to be reckoned with. The company's progression was evident with the commercial sale of their first car in 1892, followed by a 2-cylinder car, and then the Daimler Phoenix in 1897. The Phoenix's front-engine design made Daimler's vehicles more appealing and comfortable, challenging Benz's dominance in the market. Tragedy struck Daimler in 1900 with the passing of Gottlieb Daimler, leaving Maybach at the helm. It was under Maybach's leadership that the Mercedes 35 horsepower was designed in 1901, a vehicle that revolutionized the automobile industry. Originally built for racing, it was named after the daughter of Emil Jelinek, a wealthy businessman. The Mercedes excelled in street races and hill climb events, reaching top speeds of 56 miles per hour, outperforming any other vehicle of its time. This success led to a rebranding of Daimler's vehicles to Mercedes, producing new models for both racing and public use. Meanwhile, Benz and Company faced pressure from its competitors. In response, Carl's partners, without his approval, brought in French designers to create a faster model. Carl, who preferred cautious and careful driving, was appalled by the emphasis on speed and racing, leading to tensions within the company. The new car from Benz and Company was not a success, causing further crises between 1903 and 1904. Disheartened and frustrated, Carl left his company but remained on its board of directors. In a twist of fate, he eventually allowed his cars to be used in racing. By 1908, Benz had a 120 horsepower racer that impressively covered the distance from Leningrad to Moscow in just 8.5 hours. But it was the 200 horsepower Blitzen Benz, built in 1909, that broke speed records, reaching over 140 miles per hour in 1911. Both Benz and Daimler enjoyed strong sales, but the onset of World War I disrupted the industry. Post-war, Germany's economic recession hit both companies hard, leading them to sign an agreement in 1924 to combine production and marketing efforts while retaining their individual names. However, the worsening economy forced a complete merger in 1926, creating Daimler-Benz. Under this new enterprise, the Mercedes-Benz brand emerged with models like the Mercedes-Benz Type 630 and the SS and SSK models, developed with the help of engineer Ferdinand Porsche. Carl Benz witnessed the success of the automobiles he had pioneered and marveled at the industry's growth before passing away in April 1929. Posthumously, the company continued to flourish, a leading performance car maker. With Hitler's rise to power in 1933, German engineering and automobiles were thrust into the spotlight. Hitler provided substantial funding to Daimler-Benz for Grand Prix races, leading to their dominance in motorsports with models like the W25 and W125. Mercedes-Benz, alongside their new rival Auto Union, brought Germany to the forefront of motorsports, winning numerous races from 1935 to 1937. Mercedes-Benz even became Hitler's preferred brand, with models like the Mercedes-Benz 770 being used by high-ranking Nazi officials. World War II brought immense challenges to Daimler-Benz. The company, known for its automotive prowess, faced devastating aerial assaults, leading to the destruction of its factory. In the aftermath of the war, the board of directors faced the grim reality that Daimler-Benz, as a physical entity, had ceased to exist. Despite these overwhelming challenges, the company embarked on an extensive renovation of its entire production line in May 1949. Initially, most cars were still manufactured according to pre-war designs. However, the need for innovation was clear, and Mercedes-Benz was quick to adapt. In January 1952, they released an updated model under the model number W191, alongside the W187 car, filling a vital gap in the market. These vehicles laid the foundation for the company's future success, eventually leading Mercedes-Benz to become the top automotive manufacturer in Western Europe. The post-war era saw Mercedes-Benz developing several luxury vehicles, marking its resurgence in the automotive industry. The W186 300 limousine, unveiled at the 1951 Paris Motor Show, was a significant hit, attracting business people, celebrities, and politicians. This success was a clear indication of the brand's revival and its re-established prominence in the luxury car market. From the 1960s through the 1970s, Mercedes-Benz continued to introduce numerous successful and popular models. The rise of the Federal Republic of Germany as a new economic power in Western Europe heralded a new era in the automotive industry. Mercedes-Benz solidified its position as a leader in the German automobile sector, with the majority of its models being exported, showcasing the highest technical standards. The fashion trends in automotive design evolved over the years, with the SL Pagoda in the early 1970s marking the beginning of a new era focused on more expensive models. Moving into the 1990s, the introduction of the E-Class W210 stood out for its unique and affordable design. A significant milestone for Mercedes-Benz came in 1999 with the acquisition of the tuning company AMG. This decade also saw the introduction of new S and CL class automobiles, the W220 and C215, as well as the latest C-Class W203. Remarkably, Mercedes-Benz doubled its model range within just 10 years. In 2005, the company introduced new models in the S and CL classes with the W221 and C216. These models stood out for their classic styling elements, spacious interiors, and large volumes. The brand's history took another significant turn in 2008 when it was recognized as a leader in the production of modern trucks. By 2015, Mercedes-Benz had climbed to second place among automobile manufacturers, trailing only Toyota, and was ranked 10th overall. This achievement underscored the brand's enduring legacy and its position as a dominant force in the global automotive industry. Mercedes-Benz's expansion continued well into the 21st century, with manufacturing facilities established in about 22 countries, including the US, Hungary, Romania, South Africa, and China. In the US, models like the GLE, GLS, and C-Class roll off production lines, while other countries contribute assorted models to the brand's diverse portfolio. The story of Mercedes-Benz is more than just a tale of cars and engines. It's a narrative of overcoming adversity, embracing innovation, and consistently setting the bar high in the automotive world. From its humble beginnings to its present status as a global luxury brand, Mercedes-Benz's journey is a remarkable chapter in the history of transportation and industry. That brings us to the end of today's video. We hope you found this journey through the remarkable history of Mercedes-Benz both enlightening and engaging. Your thoughts and insights are valuable to us, so feel free to share them in the comments section below.